Welcome back to the Reek and Vibe channel. I'm your boy Reek. Look, today I'm reacting to some hot news, man. Apparently, you all know, if y'all know, Lil Durk in jail, right? So his case is going on, and apparently the feds or somebody found out, allegedly. Allegedly. I don't know. Hold on, let me go back to it. Did he kill Munna Durk from O-Block? I don't know if y'all know Munna Durk, but that's King Von, one of his best friends. They get back gang, you feel me? Like, they made that shit up. So he, he top hitter over there from O-Block since, everybody got locked up, people passed away and shit. I guess he was holding it down. But I know from No. We just gonna watch the video. I ain't gonna say that.
Okay, so if you saw my last video about the new paperwork that just drops on Lil Durk, you'll know that things are crazy right now. A bunch of new information has been revealed. It appears to suggest that the government are actually planning to use earlier attempts on Quando Rondo's life against Lil Durk. They're bringing up the murder of Stefan Mack, another guy that was allegedly killed for revenge for Lil Durk's brother D-Thang. Of course, they're talking about the Quando Rondo attempted assassination that ended up taking his cousin Lil Pab's life. But a detail from that video.
First of all, did I really just say that? Lil Durk is trying to kill the guy's back door? I don't know if y'all really tuned in, but it's really been some beef between them, bro. In-house beef. So you know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. But dang, cause Munna Durk and I think it was Youngin, Munna Durk and somebody just passed away, died, got shot, I think at a party or some shit like that. Randomly, didn't nobody know who it was. Now look, they saying this shit. But for what though? What's the reason?
Video from that paperwork that's really interesting, that's really blowing up now, is this one detail all about how apparently Lil Durk was actually feuding with Munna Durk from O-Block, and that there were members of OTF that were actually plotting to get O-Block members taken out over the belief, it says here, that O-Block members were not properly retaliating for King Von's death. Now,
oh yeah, he took this shit to his head. He is not playing. Not even just Munna Durk. O-Block members. Did y'all hear that? O-Block members. I don't know. I think King Von would be like, come on, gang. You know what I'm saying? That trolling shit, Slide for Von, that shit got to that nigga. He had to. He crashed out.
I've got this thread here on Chiracology, okay, and there's some very, very interesting points in the comments that I want to get to, and I want to talk a lot about this apparent beef with Munna Durk, okay? It says here, I'll read this again, okay? It says, there's evidence that defendants Banks and others were involved in the murder of Savia Robinson, which is Quando's cousin. They sought to exact revenge on another rival of defendant Lil Durk at his direction. Specifically, in April 2023, text messages by and between defendant Banks and OTF members, including OTF DD, who was in there, who was mentioned, all right, Antonio Jones, aka Booney Mo, and a confidential informant number 1, showed that the defendant Banks feud with O-Block member Munna Durk was over defendant Banks' belief that O-Block members were not properly retaliating for Bennett's death. In the thread, Lil Durk says, I'm finna pipe it up, to which Booney Mo says, blood is green, emoji of a car and a green light, getting it together now, no phones, all right? And they've got all of that. As set forth in the cooperated discovery produced to you, the government expects the informant will testify that in response to Durk's direction to exact revenge on O-Block members, PW1 and Booney Mo purchased a vehicle with funds from defendant Banks to travel to O-Block and kill whoever O-Block members they could find. PW1 is also expected to testify that PW1 would have been expected to be paid by Durk for any one of the conspirators killed. but that the conspirators did not go through with the plan because of police presence in O Block. Now, I just want to address something. I kind of misspoke.
Did y'all just hear that? Let me break that down. Basically, Durk said, go to O Block, slide on them niggas, because they not sliding for Vine. Why I feel like I'm the only one sliding for Vine, nigga? Any O Block member you see, gun them down. Like, what? So why they go to O Block to do this shit? Only reason why they did it was because it was heavy police presence. Oh no, chat. It's getting spicy, chat. You feel me? Like, they got a lot of proving to do. They got a lot of proving to do. That's all I'm gonna say.
Look at the start of my last video, and I said that basically Dee and Durk and this, Booney Mo were sliding, but apparently, okay, so Dee was just in the group chat. It was this confidential informant who's unnamed and Booney Mo who allegedly got the car and went to slide. So Dee was just in a group chat. He didn't slide. Now, I just want to make that very clear. Okay, I didn't say that in my last video, but the way that I revealed the information and the names, it kind of sounded like that. So I just wanted to make that very clear, okay? They're not saying that Dee slid. He was just in the group chat where this alleged green light for sliding on O Block members was discussed. Okay, I want to make that very, 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 very clear. Okay, and there was also a part in my last video, I just want to make it clear, okay, at one point I kind of confused OTF Vonnie and OTF Dee, and I said at some point I said, well, Dee, maybe he joined later and he didn't really know everything that was going on, he wasn't really involved like that. That really was me talking about Vonnie. Dee, he was really in them streets, okay? He was facing the body, he came home, all right? He came home to a hero's welcome. He had lyrics from King Von. You remember that King Von lyric on Beat That Body with THF Bezu, who's mentioned here? He said, Snitch K, I just talked to Dee, he gon' be home, gang. All right, so Dee was a real OTF stepper. OTF Vonnie allegedly kind of got involved later on more of an industry thing, but anyway, that's by the way. I just wanted to make that very clear so everyone can follow exactly what's going on. But I want to return to my video on Munna because a lot of people in these comments, they're actually suggesting, it says it here, plain English, black and white. Okay, Lil Durk was feuding with O Block member Munna over defendant Banks' belief that O Block members were not properly retaliating for Bennett's death. But that might not be the only reason that Lil Durk had an issue with Munna. Okay, so this is some classic law. All right, if you know this story closely, you'll know this, but you might not. Not only was Lil Durk probably upset.
I ain't gonna lie, Chad, that booger is killing me.
Mad.
That booger is killing me, Chad. Like, what the? Like, come on, man, get that shit. And of course, my fucking screen is acting stupid. Fix this shit.
That D-Thang, obviously, not D-Thang, all right, I'm getting to D-Thang, I'm getting myself confused. Not only was Lil Durk upset that these O Block members, allegedly under the leadership of Munna weren't sliding for Von, but also, and this is around that time, okay, this is 2 years ago, 2023, Munna and D-Thang's wife, that's Lil Durk's brother D-Thang, who passed away and was killed, and there was allegedly a whole bunch of get back, and 3 people died in the wake of D-Thang's murder. Munna ended up getting into a relationship and having a baby with the woman who was married to Lil Durk's brother D-Thang. So it seems like there were other reasons behind the scenes.
Y'all hear that, chat? Lil Durk, I ain't gonna lie. Like, he been going through some shit. A lot of people been passing away around my nigga. But his brother died. And apparently this fuck nigga right here, I ain't gonna lie, chat, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna say fuck nigga, but this nigga right here, cause I fuck with Munna. I'm just saying, it's a lot of females in the world, cuz. It's a lot of females now. And you got motion. But he ended up fucking Lil Durk's deceased brother, baby mama, wife, I think he said wife.
Beneath the surface, while Lil Durk might have had a very personal vendetta against Munna okay, got a baby with him. That's Lil Durk's brother's who passed away wife.
Damn.
Or baby mama, however you want to call it. Okay, this really thickens the plot, and it really gives people more reason to think that Lil Durk might have wanted to have something to do with Munna Durk getting hurt. So if we take a look at some of these comments, people are saying this is so interesting, they can't believe it. All right, Slide for Von was really eating up Lil Durk's soul really bad. They're saying he told that dude wear 3 ski masks. All right, but here's where it gets interesting, because there's a lot of comments about Duke here, and I think that it is very, very interesting. They're saying, and Duke was with his brother's baby mum around that time too. People are saying that is probably what was really driving the tension. People are saying this is crazy if it's real. People saying Duke and Durk were beefing back then too. Must have been right. People were saying it back then. Okay. People saying then they're acting hella shocked when it comes out 2 years later. But this is what was going on, man. So they're saying after.
Hold on. So maybe Munna Durk was with D-Thing baby mama when they was alive. I don't know. He just said wife though. Either way though, I feel like, come on, Mud. It's a lot more other females you could choose between, you feel me?
Phil Durk on that one. Slid on them bitch ass dudes, especially Ike Munna, man. Look, he was wanting anybody that was claiming O Block, walking around wearing those chains, he felt like you should have been sliding for Von. Okay, people are saying that Durk should tell. Okay, but this is the thing. Hold on, y'all. You think the inner beef was the reason that Munna Durk was messing with D-Thang's wife? I feel like that was foul. And people say, no, the BM thing is the reason they're beef. Now, the timeline kind of adds up here, right? What's really interesting about this is this says they were beefing in 2023. Now, Munna Durk and D-Thang's baby mother, they pop out with a child November 2023. Okay, you can't see this for some reason, but like when I highlight the date 2 years ago, it says Thursday, November the 23rd, 2023. I guess it doesn't pick it up on OBS when I highlight stuff, but yeah. So this basically happened, what's that, April? 7 months after Lil Durk and D-Thang are already having these problems, all right? And he's mad at D-Thang, not my bad, Munna Durk, all right? He's mad at Munna Durk that they're not sliding on O Block, and then Munna Durk ends up in this relationship and having a child. If the child was born in November, Munna Durk likely already conceived that child when they were having this beef. It's possible that that was part of this, man, and that's what's so crazy about this situation.
It's like, bruh, niggas always crash out over females, bro. I do not understand it. I do not understand it, bro. Crashing out with females left and right. Like, real deal, I'll kill you, bro. Like, I done seen it all, bro. This shit crazy. We gotta stop that shit.
It's unbelievable. And what's really interesting is like the way that this guy described it is they're saying, do you think the beef was the reason that Munna Durk was smashing D-Thang's wife? Because there's been a lot of talk about like maybe they got together and that's why Lil Durk and Munna Durk were having some tension. But this comment, the way this comment frames it, they're basically saying, nah, they was already having a beef and maybe Munna Durk was hitting on D-Thang's wife to mess with Durk, to disrespect him, to disrespect his deceased brother D-Thang. That would be a crazy theory. Okay, people are saying the baby mama thing is the reason they was beefing, but maybe it sounds like maybe this beef was already going on. It's unclear which thing was the start. It's unclear what the actual catalyst for this beef was, but that is actually pretty crazy, okay? And people are saying it's confusing, man. People are saying it's confusing if it come out in O Block and threats to everything was smoking each other. People are finished with this drill thing, right? People say, I'm not gonna lie, not smart for this one if true. It makes sense why Munna Durk could have been backdoored, but, and not justifying it, Von gave a lot back to his hood when he started to go up, and with Durk being as big as he is, he can't just go pick up a gun and go do it. But the Slide for Von comments had to be eating him up, and the older members are alive, and they had to be getting real frustrated with them, and they felt as if the younger generation and other members needed to slide against all the people who diss Von and Atlanta as a whole. Maybe they mean Chicago. It's just an all-round mess, just like with every drill scene. People saying, damn, so Durk really sent some OTF guys to kill any O Block member? People are saying,
nah, that is crazy. Damn, so Durk sent some OTF guys to kill any O Block member? Like, do y'all know what I'm saying right now, bro? That shit is wild, right, bro? What would King Von think, bro? I know you're supposed to get back for me, bro, but don't kill the guys. We never thought you was on some backdoor shit.
I don't think any O-Block member, the only person named in the message thread was Munna Durk. And Durk had him in their own personal problems, and people are saying he probably tried to get Durk shot. And this is interesting, saying, and now it makes sense that people were saying RIP threats to everybody, Ken, the day that Munna Durk and Young got killed. So, yeah. So look, I want to just return to my video about the murder of Munna Durk. I want to just recap. I want to refresh my own memory. I want to refresh your memory of everything that went down with Munna Durk and some of the things that were going on afterwards, because this is still a giant mystery in Chicago history. It's still a giant mystery in the Chicago streets. Nobody's been arrested for this. Nobody's been wrapped up. These interesting details in the context of the fact that allegedly Lil Durk was trying to have anybody from O-Block killed, and then this ends up happening. Their evening at the restaurant came to a close, and Durk, Youngin, and their group exited the restaurant. At least 2 gunmen who had reportedly been hanging out in front of the restaurant waiting for them would jump out of a vehicle, firing at least 50 shots, hitting Durk, Youngin, and a third man who some thought to have been Domo from the 600 set, a brother of the founder of 600 called D-Thang. Unfortunately, both Youngin and Durk would tragically pass away, and thankfully, the third man ended up surviving. The aftermath of the shooting was recorded by passers-by that showed Youngin's lifeless body laying on the pavement. Officer familiar with the investigation told newspapers how security video showed the gunman escaping in a stolen Infiniti Q50, which cops found less than 2 hours after the shooting, abandoned and burning on the 600 block of East 134th Place, almost 30 miles south from the scene of the shooting in the far south side. Munna Durk had posted a story on his social media just 6 hours before the incident, his last Instagram story featuring him in the car with whom many believe to be Youngin, Domo, and Domo's sister, listening to G Herbo and flexing jewelry including his O-Block chain. Meanwhile, Youngin's last post was ominously captioned, "We outside, DM the gang for the location," and Youngin 2 would be spotted wearing his O-Block chain at the gathering. It would be one such O-Block chain, allegedly splattered with blood, that Durk and Youngin's alleged killers would post not long after the murder, snatched off an O-Block member's corpse, or at least that's what the posters wanted everyone to think. News of the deaths began to spread quickly online, with associates confirming Munna Durk and Youngin's passing through heartfelt posts, including those members of O-Block who were particularly close with the two, like Muwop, Durk's alleged right-hand man in the murder of Get Right. Munna Durk had also recently become a father, welcoming a child with the former partner of OTF D-Thang, the late brother of rapper Lil Durk. But following him and Youngin's death, it wasn't just those close.
Okay, who more in the wrong? Who more in the wrong? I say he is, cause he know the guys. But she damn near know the situation too, though. Ain't no way.
To them paying their respects, as the well-known ops of O-Block like STL, EBT, Taekwon World, and Gyro City would immediately begin to troll on social media. Taekwon World members paying tribute to their fallen friend Poppy, this playing to the long-held rumor that Durk had been involved in his murder. But surprisingly, none of them would pay tribute to Get Right, which many people on Reddit would argue like TSG would make social media posts promising get back, with members of TSG announcing to the world and probably the police that they were already busy sliding on their ops, posting on social media asking where the ops are and that they must have gone into hiding knowing that O-Block was on hunting time. But now I just want to point out something interesting, right? One of these guys posted, "Laugh Now, Cry Later." That's Lil Durk's song with Drake that was released just after FBG Duck was killed, announcing to the world and probably the police that they were already busy sliding on their ops, posting on social media asking where the ops are and that they must have gone into hiding knowing that O-Block was on hunting time. But who they were hunting is a completely different matter, as it seems that when it comes to the possible suspects, there are many different theories. One of the leading drill reporters in Chicago, or drill historian as he calls himself, Truth Teller TV, would suggest that the murder may well have been in retaliation for the murder of rapper FBG Duck, meaning that the suspects may be from the sets close by O-Block, like STL EBT, aka Tukaville, where Duck was from, or possibly Taekwon World, which has many members closely affiliated with Duck's set.
You know, it's a real war going on. It's already talk in the street that this is get back for FBG Duck. And they did this for FBG Duck. I'm not sure. I don't want to throw that out, but I can tell you it looked like they were targeted and murdered. The streets are talking, and people saying this revenge for Duck.
Another YouTuber from Chicago, also known as a Gyro City original and a close friend of FBG Duck, FYB J-Main, would take to his YouTube channel to comment on the total.
The gun so it's ever supposed
Who have followed the Chicago drill scene, he spent rifle getting communities.
What?
Man,
However, not everyone was welcoming J-Main with open arms, and during a subsequent visit to O-Block, he was forced to flee the scene after O-Block veteran E-Dog turned up, furious about J-Main making comments about him in interviews. Munna Durk had actually come out off of King Von because before J-Main was pushing peace, J-Main would take to his channel once again, still is.
Out here wasting my life.
Surprisingly, suspicions on the culprits of this double murder would also begin to fall on O-Block's former friends, Front Street, as online sleuths would claim that the person in the pictures holding the O-Block chain while wearing a ski mask was actually a Front Street member called Bawop, who, according to online detectives, is tied to at least 2 other murders, these being towards Front Street and O-Block's common enemies, the murder of Cord from STL EBT in 2021 and Lil Take from Taekwon World in 2022. Then, another leaked image would get posted on Reddit, showing another alleged member of Front Street wearing the same chain, the caption simply being a series of laughing emojis. But as the person who had posted the image would notice that it had been shared on Reddit, he would seemingly decide to delete his entire Instagram account, with the Redditors predicting that their self-snitching had made certain that they would get caught. Meanwhile, O-Block would catch wind of the rumors floating around the net, with both Ike Munna and Ocho Munna commenting on a post saying that the chain isn't Youngun's or Duke's. In reality, it seems unlikely that anyone would spend time trying to remove a chain off someone's neck in such a public place, not knowing if the victim's friends were going to return fire at any moment. Meanwhile, other Reddit detectives have pointed out how the getaway vehicle was found burning literally right next to the Aldgeld Gardens, the home of OTF Chuckies, an Action Savages ghoulie gang, aka Bloodbath, while their members would also post subliminal Instagram posts like an emoji showing 2 fingers up, this seemingly implying that they had just caught 2 of their ops. If these rumors are true, this could mean that O-Block is about to face some
Bro, what the Bro, this is a lot. I keep forgetting Lil Durk signed somebody, like, from the other side, basically, that's been spinning on the guys. You feel me? How does that make sense, bro?
very difficult times, and the question becomes, who would Lil Durk and his OTF affiliates side with? They're longtime friends from O-Block, who have done many things with Durk and for Durk, but who have recently lost many key members due to death or prison, or Ghoulie Gang, whose rapper Chucky is currently one of the top artists on Lil Durk's OTF label, which desperately needs somebody to bring in money, now that Durk will likely stay locked up for a long time. Many people seem to think that this case could be solved any day now, if the Chicago police are just willing to allocate some of the required resources, but they often take their time, and only time will tell if anyone is going to face justice. So for now, I just want to say rest in peace to Munna Durk and Youngun, and for anybody watching this growing up in these kind of harsh environments that I'm talking about in this video, stay safe, remember that you are... That's all a minute ago, okay? I was showing these comments on this post about this new paperwork, and I didn't really know about this, and I'm going to dig into it now for you guys so that we can look at it together. Somebody said, right, and now it makes sense that people were saying RIP TT Ken the same day that Durk and Youngun got killed. Now, this is the pictures they're referring to. It says them OTFians posting Ken after the death of Durk and Youngun. So allegedly, these are OTF members showing off their passed away friend, Tay-Town Ken. Now, I didn't really know a lot about this guy. Now, apparently he had a weird case. Okay, I don't want to get too much into it, but he apparently had a case that involves sexual violence, okay? But people are saying this is 5 months ago. They're saying, oh yeah, just a coincidence, laughing face. People saying they're definitely beefing the Munna wasn't even there. They're definitely beefing the Munna was there when Ken got killed. People saying catch up. Most of the people here know that he was with another dude from Lamron when he did the thing. It's when Ken got backdoored the same day Lamron Trigger got killed. There's a real civil war going on inside the BD community. And it says, yeah, since 2020, Lamron and TTE kill each other, same for Front Street and O-Block. When Ken got killed, Reese made an IG post, O-Block and Lamron together since what happened. All right, and Lil Reese did post laughing emojis when this guy Ken got killed, okay? Lil Reese posted a picture of his shoes with crying emojis, not laughing emojis. They're not actually laughing emojis, they're crying emojis, but still, it apparently was disrespectful towards this guy Ken. Okay, and this was a year ago, people saying, damn, Tay-Town and Lamron are really beefing? What the hell? All right, people saying that's crazy, they're on the same block beefing like that. They're saying Tay-Town's just 3-4 blocks away, okay?
See, Chad, that's crazy.
Saying, how does that work? Isn't Durk cool with Tay-Town members and Sosa cousin from there? Right? People are...
The infamous O-Block, bro. Like, y'all all beefing with each other, bro. And how much you want to bet it all stems from a bitch, bro. That's what it sound like. That's what it sound like, bro. Shit don't even be that deep, bro.
Hating on Lil Reese, they're wondering what this civil war is all around. They're saying, why is everybody teasing his death from his side? I know him and Mimo wasn't cool, but why Reese? Okay. So what's really interesting, I didn't know much about this Ken guy, but now I'm seeing Reddit posts all about him. And apparently, okay, this is the original post where he passed away. It said, damn, back to back, RIP to the rapper TT, Ken. He was shot and killed just a few hours ago. And it said a man was killed in a Roseland shooting on Sunday night. Police responded to calls of a person shot and found a 26-year-old man between two houses in the 11500 block of South State Street around 8 p.m. The man who was shot multiple times in the back was taken to University of Chicago Medical Center and pronounced dead. And a witness told police that two men had gotten out of a black sedan and shot the man before getting back into the car and fleeing, and no one is in custody. And people were saying Mimo 600 was going to have a field day. People saying that he was a offender of the S variety. He was apparently part of a gang abuse situation with 3 older Tay-Town members. I ain't go too hard. They're saying he S offender, all of that stuff. They're saying he weird as hell. But basically, he passed away, and this caused a lot of friction, a lot of back and forth. And what's really interesting, okay, is apparently he was involved in the Little Durk case. People are saying the unnamed shooter is Ken. So people are saying he might have been the other shooter that was in the situation where Quando's cousin got killed. They're saying the issue is they provided 3 grand jury with lies in order to get a complaint against Durk. Even after knowing the lyrics have nothing to do with the case, they continued to use edited videos to make their argument strong. Lawyers are saying that they knew they lied but continued with doing that because had they had the text messages, it wouldn't have been enough to indict him. That's why they added clips that were edited. This then showed a different narrative to the grand jury. Because of their unethical conduct, the indictment against Smirk should be dismissed because of how they do it. And they're basically saying the unnamed shooter is Ken. Nobody's cooperating against Durk. He'll be coming home. Now, I don't know about him coming home, but there's been a lot of speculation that maybe that shooter was OTF Jam, that one of the shooters who actually was there, involved in the murder of Lil Pab, was actually cooperating with the feds. Other people are saying it's Ken and he's no longer alive, so they're not mentioning him in there. And they're basically saying that's how he got indicted. It basically has been going around Reddit on other posts. They're saying, by the way, it's pretty likely that co-conspirator 2 was Ken TTE, who died last year, hence why his name isn't on the indictment. Still, people are thinking it can't be Jam. Is it Jam? They're saying no. I see how you figured that, but without
I ain't gonna lie, everybody been thinking it's OTF Jam. I ain't gonna lie.
saying his name. He used to be around Durk last. One of them, I ran a search. F members that posted Ken after the death of Duke and Young'un were basically flexing the fact that, yep, Ken, he allegedly got killed in this whole ongoing beef, Munna to Munna Duke, and they posted these. Or a lot of people say maybe OTF had something to do with what happened to Munna Duke. Now, we don't know that for sure.
That is crazy.
We don't know if Ken was involved in this situation with Lil Durk. It's plausible, but we haven't got any proof at this stage. Okay, there's so much more to this story than anyone could have imagined. Clearly, Lil Durk and Munna Duke weren't seeing eye to eye. They were already beefing about the whole Sly for Von situation, and then add to that the fact that Munna Duke is having a baby with the mother of Lil Durk's nephew, I guess you would say. This whole thing is just getting crazy. Okay, so look, I'm going to look more into this whole Ken situation, this whole OTF back and forth, what Lil Reese's involvement is in this whole thing.
Chad, what do y'all think about that shit, man? The Lil Durk put a hit out on the guys, man. Would that not be crazy as fudge? Like, just to sit here and just think about all this, like, over a female. I don't know. I keep saying it, but I really don't know for real. But so far, like, what he's saying between, you know, his brother and shit, I mean, it probably was beef, but him doing that probably made him want to kill him. I ain't gonna lie. Now he probably want to kill him. Because he's like, we don't know. Was you smashing his baby mama while they was alive? Or when he passed away? Either way, it's still like, it's on the floor. Either way, it's still smoke, man. But you too, that's all I got today, man. Y'all take it easy, man. This is your boy Reed, and I'm out.